At this very moment, as you're watching this video, it's possible that an object the size of a planet is passing through your body. You feel nothing, see nothing, but it's there. And I'm not talking about science fiction. I'm talking about one of the most unsettling discoveries in modern astronomy: dark halo objects, cosmic ghosts that might be watching us without us ever knowing of their existence. Imagine for a moment that you're in a completely dark room, but you know someone is there. You can't see them, can't touch them, but you can feel their presence. That's what dark halo objects are like: invisible cosmic entities that traverse our universe like celestial spirits, carrying secrets from the earliest moments after the Big Bang. Hello, cosmic explorers. Welcome to Cosmic Frontiers, where we unravel the deepest mysteries of the universe. Today, we're diving into one of the most enigmatic phenomena of modern cosmology. Get ready to discover how scientists are developing revolutionary technologies to hunt these cosmic ghosts, why they might hold the key to understanding the origin of the universe, and how it is possible that thousands of them are passing through Earth right now without leaving any trace. Our journey toward 1,000 cosmic explorers continues. And you want to miss this revelation that could completely change our understanding of what truly exists around us. To understand dark halo objects, we first need to go back to the birth of the universe. In the earliest moments after the Big Bang, when the cosmos was just a baby, only fractions of a second old, conditions were so extreme that physics operated in ways we can barely imagine today. The temperature was trillions of times hotter than the core of the sun, and the density was so absurd that all the matter in the observable universe could fit into a space smaller than a ping-pong ball. In this primordial cosmic cauldron, tiny fluctuations in the density of matter began to grow. Imagine an ocean during a perfect storm, where small waves become larger waves, which turn into massive waves. These gravitational fluctuations worked similarly, but on a scale that defies our comprehension. Some of these fluctuations were so intense that they collapsed in on themselves, creating regions of extreme density. Here's the fascinating part: unlike the black holes we know today, which formed much later from the collapse of massive stars, these primordial objects were born directly from the fabric of the primordial spacetime itself. They are like cosmic fossils, preserving the conditions of the universe when it was just a tiny fraction of its current age. Now, imagine an invisible cannonball. It has all the mass and density of a real cannonball, but is completely transparent. You can't see it, but if it flies by, you'll feel its gravitational effects. Dark halo objects work exactly like that, but on an astronomical scale. They can have the mass of planets, stars, or even entire galaxies, but they don't emit, absorb, or reflect any light. What makes this even more impressive is that these objects aren't made of the ordinary matter we know. You, me, the stars, the planets, all of this is made of baryonic matter, composed of protons, neutrons, and electrons. But dark halo objects might be made of primordial dark matter, a mysterious substance that makes up about 85% of all the matter in the universe but remains completely invisible to us. To better visualize this, think of a ghost that has weight. It can pass through walls, doesn't interact with light, but still has enough mass to tip a scale. Now imagine billions of these cosmic ghosts wandering through the universe, some perhaps as small as asteroids, others larger than Jupiter, all completely invisible, but gravitationally active. The theoretical discovery of these objects arose from an intriguing question that has haunted cosmologists for decades. If the early universe was so dense and turbulent, why didn't many more small black holes form? Computer simulations showed that there should be an immense population of compact primordial objects, but when astronomers looked at the sky, they didn't find enough evidence of them. The answer might lie in dark halo objects. They represent an entirely new category of celestial bodies that exist in a cosmic limbo, massive enough to warp the spacetime around them, but not dense enough to become traditional black holes. They're like stars that were never born, planets that never formed, but still exert their silent gravitational influence on everything around them. Bernard Carr, one of the pioneers in studying these objects, once compared them to cosmic icebergs. We only see the tip of the gravitational iceberg, while the real mass remains completely hidden in the invisible depths of space. This analogy is perfect because, just as an iceberg can sink a ship while being almost entirely invisible, a dark halo object can dramatically affect the trajectories of planets, stars, and even entire galaxies. Now we come to the truly unsettling part of this story. If these objects exist, and many cosmologists believe they do, then not just floating in distant corners of the universe, they're everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean literally passing through our solar system, our planet, and even our bodies at this very moment. Think about it. If there are billions or trillions of these invisible objects wandering through the galaxy, the chances of some of them passing through our little corner of the cosmos are practically certain. Earth is constantly moving through space at a speed of about 30 kilometers per second in its orbit around the Sun, while the entire solar system travels at 220 kilometers per second around the center of the galaxy. We're like a car on a cosmic highway, and dark halo objects are like an invisible fog permeating the entire road. But what's truly astonishing. If one of these objects were passing through Earth right now, you wouldn't feel a thing. It would pass through every atom in your body without touching a single electron. It's as if you were made of smoke to this object, and it were made of smoke to you. The only interaction would be gravitational, so weak on a human scale that it would be completely imperceptible. To get an idea of the scale involved, imagine a dark halo object the size of the Moon passing through Earth. Its gravity would be so weak compared to Earth's gravity that it wouldn't even cause a detectable variation in the tides. It would be like trying to feel the weight of a feather while carrying an elephant on your back. Catherine Fries, one of the world's most respected cosmologists, calculated that if these objects exist at the density suggested by theories, then approximately 1 million of them could be passing through Earth every second, 1 million per second. And we're not talking about microscopic particles. We're talking about objects that could have the mass of mountains, cities, or even entire countries. This leads us to a disturbing reflection. If we can't see, touch, or feel them, how do we know they exist? And more importantly, how can we study something that is fundamentally invisible? The answer lies in one of the most fascinating areas of modern physics: indirect gravitational detection. Imagine you're in a completely dark room, trying to map all the furniture just by feeling the air currents around you. When you move, the air flows differently around a table than around a chair. Similarly, dark halo objects leave footprints in the fabric of space-time that, in theory, can be detected by sufficiently sensitive instruments. The first of these footprints is called gravitational lensing. When a massive object passes between us and a distant star, its gravity acts like a lens, bending and amplifying the light from the background star. It's like using a cosmic magnifying glass that we can see but whose effects are clearly visible. If a dark halo object passes through the line of sight between Earth and a star, that star will appear to shine more brightly for a few hours or days before returning to its normal brightness. Andrew Gould, one of the pioneers of this detection technique, described the process as hunting ghosts by the shadows they cast in the light. Dozens of these microlensing events have already been detected, but the big question is, how many of them are caused by brown dwarfs or rogue planets, and how many could be true dark halo objects? The second gravitational footprint is the ripples in spacetime that these objects might create. When two dark halo objects collide or merge, they should produce gravitational waves detectable by our most sensitive interferometers, such as LIGO and Virgo. These waves would be like the echo of an invisible cosmic thunder, reaching us billions of years after the event that created them. But perhaps the most futuristic detection technique is what scientists call gravitational archaeology. This revolutionary approach involves studying the motion patterns of stars in our galaxy with unprecedented precision. If dark halo objects are truly everywhere, then their cumulative gravitational influences over billions of years should have left subtle but detectable marks on stellar orbits. The Gaia Space Telescope, launched by the European Space Agency, is currently mapping the positions and movements of over 1 billion stars with extraordinary precision. It's like having a cosmic GPS that can detect if a star has shifted its position by a distance, equivalent to the width of a human hair, seen from the Moon. If Gaia's data reveals systematic anomalies in stellar movements, this could be the first direct evidence of the influence of dark halo objects. But here's where the story gets even more fascinating. Some scientists are proposing ways not just to detect these objects, but to use them. If we can map their trajectories and positions, dark halo objects could become navigation landmarks for future interstellar missions. Imagine using invisible cosmic ghosts as gravitational beacons to guide spacecraft across the vast distances between stars. Lisa Randall, a theoretical physicist at Harvard, has proposed an even more revolutionary idea. If these objects truly permeate our galaxy, they could explain some of the great mysteries of cosmic evolution. Perhaps they are responsible for the fluctuations that allowed the formation of the first galaxies. Perhaps their gravitational influence shaped the large-scale architecture of the universe we see today. This brings us to a truly terrifying and fascinating possibility. What if dark halo objects are not just passive relics of the past, but active participants in cosmic evolution? What if they are constantly rearranging matter in the universe in ways we don't understand? We might be living in a much more dynamic and populated cosmos than we ever imagined. Takahiro Tanaka, from the Riken Institute in Japan, is developing next-generation detectors that could identify the passage of a dark halo objects through Earth in real time. These detectors would work by measuring tiny variations in Earth's gravitational field. So small they would be like detecting the weight of a grain of sand being added to a mountain. The technology needed for this is still in development, but the basic principles already exist. Networks of ultra-precise atomic clocks spread across the planet could detect distortions in time caused by the passage of these objects. Remember, according to Einstein, gravity and time are closely connected. A massive object passing near Earth would cause tiny variations in the flow of time, lasting only fractions of a second, but detectable by our most advanced technology. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of dark halo objects is that they might be far more common than we think. Some estimates suggest there could be more matter locked in these invisible objects than in all the visible stars in the galaxy combined. We might be living in a universe where the invisible overwhelmingly outweighs the visible. And here we come to the true mystery that keeps cosmologists awake at night. If these objects are so abundant and massive, why does the universe seem so empty? Why, when we look at the night sky, do we see mostly empty space between the stars instead of signs of all this invisible matter? The answer might lie in the very nature of dark matter. If dark halo objects are made of this mysterious substance, then they exist in a parallel reality to ours, occupying the same space as us, but interacting only through gravity. It's as if the universe were a cosmic apartment building, where we live on one floor and they live on another, but occasionally we hear footsteps from above. This idea has profound implications for our understanding of reality. If confirmed, it would mean that most of the matter in the universe exists in a form that our senses can never directly detect. We would be living like blind people in a world populated by invisible giants. But perhaps the most mind-bending possibility is that these dark halo objects might not be random debris from the early universe, but organized structures with their own complex dynamics. Some theoretical models suggest they could form clusters, streams, and even hierarchical structures similar to galaxies, but completely invisible to us. Imagine entire galaxies of invisible matter passing through the Milky Way, like ghost ships in the cosmic night. They would have their own evolution, their own complex gravitational interactions, their own life cycle, all happening in a realm that exists parallel to ours, but completely beyond our perception. Now, let me share something with you that might be even more unsettling. Some scientists speculate that these objects could have their own moons or satellite systems. If a dark halo object has planetary mass, there's no physical reason why it couldn't gravitationally capture other smaller objects, creating complex systems of invisible bodies orbiting each other. This means that, at this very moment, an entire ghost solar system could be passing through our solar system, with invisible planets orbiting an invisible star, all completely undetectable to us, except for their collective gravitational influence. It's as an idea that makes our imagination soar and our understanding of reality expand in almost incomprehensible ways. Chanda Prescott-Weinstein, a theoretical cosmologist at the University of New Hampshire, perfectly summed up the sentiment of the scientific community. We're rediscovering that the universe might be far more populated and dynamic than we ever dreamed, but populated by entities that exist beyond the limits of our sensory perception. And this brings us to the final and most fascinating question. If these objects are real, if they truly permeate the universe in the quantities that theories suggest, are we constantly being observed by them? Not in a conscious sense, of course, but in the sense that our matter is constantly interacting gravitationally with this invisible reality. Every movement we make, every step we take, every beat of our heart, all of it creates tiny ripples in the gravitational field around us. If a dark halo object is passing nearby, it would feel these ripples, just as we can feel waves in the water when someone moves in a pool. In a very real sense, we would be in constant gravitational communication with these invisible entities. But here is the beauty and terror of this possibility. Just as they might be gravitationally observing us, we are also observing them back. Our own Earth's mass, our solar system, our galaxy, all of it exerts gravitational influence on these ghostly objects. We are participants in an invisible cosmic dance, where each partner affects the other, but neither can see their dance partner. Recapping our journey through this cosmic mystery, we've discovered that the universe might be filled with massive, completely invisible objects, relics from the earliest moments after the Big Bang. These dark halo objects might be constantly passing through our planet and our bodies, interacting with us only through gravity. Scientists are developing revolutionary technologies to detect these cosmic ghosts, from gravitational archaeology to next-generation gravitational wave detectors. Perhaps the most fascinating thing is that if these objects exist, we are living in a far more dynamic and populated universe than we ever imagined. A cosmos where invisible reality might be richer than visible reality, where ghost galaxies might pass through ours without leaving a trace, where entire solar systems might exist parallel to ours in dimensions we can never see. This forces us to reconsider our position in the universe. We are not just lonely observers in a vast and empty cosmos. We are participants in a complex gravitational symphony, where billions of invisible entities might be dancing around us, influencing and being influenced by our very existence. The next time you look up at the night sky, remember, between you and every star you can see, thousands of invisible objects might be silently passing by, carrying secrets from the earliest moments of the universe. The cosmos is not just stranger than we imagine, it might be stranger than we are capable of imagining. And this brings us to the deepest reflection. If there truly are so many forms of matter and energy that we cannot directly detect, how many other realities might exist beyond our perception? Dark halo objects might just be the tip of the iceberg of a universe far richer and more complex than our limited senses allow us to experience. In a cosmos where most of reality remains invisible, who are we to claim that we truly understand the nature of existence? Cosmic explorers, what do you think of this unsettling possibility that we are constantly being traversed by invisible objects the size of planets? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I am genuinely curious to know how you process this idea of living in a universe far more populated than it seems. And since we're talking about invisible mysteries of the cosmos, what other enigma of the universe would you like me to talk about in the next video? Perhaps the extra dimensions of reality, or maybe the mysterious radio signals coming from deep space. Leave your suggestions in the comments. We're on an incredible journey toward 1,000 cosmic explorers, and each of you makes this crew more special. If this video expanded your mind about the invisible possibilities surrounding us, join our expedition by clicking subscribe. Like this video if it made you question how many parallel realities might be happening around us at this very moment, and share it with someone who's also fascinated by the deepest mysteries of the universe. In the next video, we'll explore another enigma that challenges our understanding of reality. Until then, keep looking at the stars and questioning everything you think you know about the cosmos.